Good morning, everybody. I'm back out in the shop. It's Sunday morning, and the saga of the mower repair continues. We left off with one of the wheel braces in the back. I need to work on that. But before I do, I got some of this. This is rust fix, and what you do is anywhere there's rust on the mower, which it looks like there's quite a bit, I'm going to sand the rust off. Maybe I ought to use steel wool or something just to get it down to the bare metal. You shoot this on it. It kills the rust and turns the surface black. And then basically I'll be able to come back at some point, maybe later in the season. I'm not overly worried about this because I do need to get the mower going so I can cut, but I'll spray the thing red. I'll take the motor off of it and all of the accessories, and I'll clean it with some solvent to get all the years of dirt and grass residue off of it. And then we'll scuff sand it and paint the entire thing red. For the holes in the back, I was talking with somebody last night, and for a quick fix, they suggested some JB Weld. So I think what I'll do is get some little pieces of aluminum, put them up underneath. Maybe I can hot glue the aluminum up underneath, and then I can take the JB Weld and put it in from the top and sort of smash it in and work it a little bit to kind of smooth it out. Once it dries, I can probably sand it smooth with the surface. And maybe make that work. And I think what I'll do is underneath, I won't press the aluminum hard against the bottom of the mower. I'll leave it kind of loose so there maybe is a little gap so I can smash some of that JB Weld up under there, and it'll maybe seal to the underside as well. And then when I paint it, I should be able just to paint right over that. It doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, it's a lawnmower. The thing is, I just want to stop the rust. So we're going to work on that, and then yeah, that's first. I'm going to get the rust going first, and then we will work on the back wheels. And once the back wheels are done, let's see, what do I have left? Well, I'm not going to put the blade on right away. We'll go ahead and start working on the front end of the self-propelled part of it and just see what we can find there. I think I'm getting close. It's just a lot of little things adding up. The time changed last night, so it'll stay late or darker. So I guess I'm going to move my grass cutting adventure to Monday, Tuesday, one evening during the week, because I need to really have this thing buttoned up before I start using it. Otherwise, it won't get buttoned up. I've got the heavy rust sanded off, and I just used a little Windex on some paper towels and sprayed it on the paper towel and wiped all the dust off twice. Got it sanded off on the back too. All of the bare spots are sanded. It is 46 degrees out. It needs to be above 50, so I've got a couple hours to wait before I can go out and shoot that on there, to kill the rest of that rust up on top. So we're going to let the sun get up a little bit, let the temperature get up a little bit, and then I'll get out and work on that. But for the time being, I think I'm going to take a look at this back wheel and see if I can find some hardware that will help me to mount that brace a little more permanently to the body. I got the rear wheel fixed. It might be a little tough to see, but right there is a bolt, and it's a 1/4 inch bolt. Normally they use what reminds me of a sheet metal screw. That's what's on the other side. I just lined the hole back up on the bracket with the hole in the body, and from the inside I drilled through to 1/4 inch because that was the smallest bolt that I had. So a 1/4 inch is a pretty decent sized bolt. It's got a nice hexagonal head on it. I put it through. I put a large fender washer on the backside, a nice big lock washer, and then another washer, and then a nut, and I cranked it down really tight, so that should help keep it from vibrating off. Now this is a lot easier to work with. I do need to oil the mechanism that raises and lowers the wheels, not because I do that. I normally cut as high as possible, but because they're going to rust up and seize together if I don't get some lubricant in there. So we'll work on that as we start lubricating everything. What I want to turn my attention to now, it's still not quite 50 degrees outside. I'm going to turn my attention to the front of the mower here. I've pulled the belt off. I got it over here. I'm going to go get a new belt. Before I take this apart, I mean, everything seems to be there. Everything seems to be in working order. Before I take it apart, I'd like to get up to the parts store and get a replacement belt, and I'll pick up some red paint. I'm looking at these tires. They are bald, so they have no grip. I'm wondering, what do you think would happen if I were to put these on my lathe, okay? I've got an indexer, and I can index them, and I came back and I cut grooves in them, index, cut a groove, index, cut a groove. I'm wondering if that would give me any traction. Like, see, these have kind of a little, they're wearing out too, but they got a little bit of a wavy groove in them. I wonder if that would just help pull this up the yard. I mean, there's plenty of meat there. I don't have to cut deep, maybe just a little bit, just enough to give it some traction. I'm thinking about it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think I'm going to go to the parts store and get the parts I need. I just got back from the parts store. and they do not have the belt in stock, but they ordered it for me. It'll be there Tuesday morning, 7 a.m. So I'll pick it up on the way home from work. I really don't think I'm going to get to cut today anyway, because by the time I spray this and let that etching primer or that rust killer, whatever it is, get on there and cure, and then come back, and I do have some paint. Got some red paint. You can see it's pretty darn close. I mean, this is pretty faded. It's probably 20 years old by now, so it's pretty faded, but it's close enough to where it'll cover that black up and make it look better than it does. And that's really what I'm after. 10 feet away, it's going to look just fine. I got the rear wheels done. I got a little greasing to do back there. Not a big deal. I got a part to put in, this little black part on the floor that goes underneath of the deck. I guess it's a self-mulching piece that I took out to be able to get to the bolt on the back wheel. We'll get that put in. And then, like I said, there ain't a whole lot more I can do. I can't really put the blade on till I have the belt, because the belt goes on first, then the blade goes on. I'm kind of at almost a stopping point. I don't know. Let me see what I can do. Maybe I'll get the primer on this. I'll tinker with it, see what else I've got. If I can get the primer on it today, then maybe I can get to some turning projects and spend a little time in the shop, because I did start on that drawer over there, making some stuff for the inside of the drawer, and I'd like to work on that. So maybe we'll work on some of that this afternoon. We'll see how it goes. I'll keep you guys posted. I've shortened my bolts so that these knobs fit much better. Where they go is right here. The handle goes on this side of this bracket, and then this will go through the handle and then through this bracket. And on the other side is where the knob will tighten down. And they were probably 3 inches long, so I just shortened them up a little bit. What I need to do now is, I took some PB Blaster and shot it in here on this mechanism. You can kind of see how it's a little bit wet looking right now, because I wanted to raise these up one more notch, because I was able to raise these up a notch. So I shot it on all four of them so that they'll move a little easier. And then I'll put some lubricant in there once that PB loosens them up. I need to turn my attention to finding something that can substitute for this. This right here is the front part of the mower that goes over the self-propelled mechanism. And if you'll take a look at this screw, this is actually the good one. Take a look at the threads. They're shot from being, this goes through the housing, and then this part goes into the deck right here, and it still threads in a little bit. But what I'm going to do is see if I can't find a screw, and a machine screw, maybe a size up from this. I know I've got some spacers. If not, I can make some, and we're going to try to replace these. Worst case scenario, I'll try to use a machine screw, but worst case scenario, I could always use a screw with a nut and a bolt if I had to. But let's see what we can come up with. I think I'm about done for today. I was able to get that freed up and raise the mower over there. This one is still not freed up. I shot it with a little more PB Blaster. These bolts here, I don't have anything that will do the trick. What I believe I need, I have some tiny self-tappers for like sheet metal. I'd like to get a longer self-tapper. Maybe those aren't quite an inch long, but maybe something right at 3/4 of an inch to an inch long. And then I can always take a piece of aluminum and turn it to the right diameter and drill it to fit over the screw, and then I can just self-tap it right into those holes, and that would do the trick. Then I'd be able to hold that on there. I thought about using a nut on a bolt, but I didn't want to have to get up under there and crank that on and off. Plus, it's going to be nasty under the mower. It'll rust, get all gross. So I don't want to make a trip to the hardware store for just 2 screws. So I'll get those Monday on my way home from work. Pretty much that's it until I can paint. So I'm going to put this project away for now, get cleaned up, and see about working on something else in the shop. Well, I spent a little time working on a shop project, and I'm back to the mower. And what I did is, up underneath of the mower, I took some note card and I cut it a little larger than the hole. And I used some duct tape, because I had cleaned out under this yesterday with the jet washer. So the duct tape actually stuck. And, that gave me a backer. So I took some JB Weld, mixed it up, put it in the hole. And what I'll do tomorrow is I'll put I've got a sander, like a disc that I can put on my drill press. And I'll just kind of sand this. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I'll just try to smooth it out. It'll probably be relatively hard to smooth out, being that it's JB Weld. But, I'll see what I can do. If it doesn't work, not a big deal. We will, tomorrow night, hopefully, go ahead and shoot red paint over all of these bad spots. You can notice how everywhere it was rusty, it turned black. That's some pretty neat stuff. Here you go. This is what it was, and essentially what it does, you spray it on, it goes on clear, like a clear coat or something. And then as it dries, anywhere there's rust, it just turns it black. So I'm really happy with that. You know, I need to check. I'll read the instructions. I don't remember if I have to use a primer with that or not, or if it actually acts as a primer. I may have to go ahead and shoot a primer on there first, but that's not a big deal. I've got just some good old gray primer, and we can just spray a little bit of that on there. And like I said, it ain't going to be perfect, but it should look pretty good. Then basically, it's just a matter of some final assembly. Everything is ready to go. I just need to put it back together. So I'm real happy with where I'm at. I found out just a few minutes ago that I have a lacrosse game to attend on Wednesday night or Tuesday night. So after the game, I'll pick the belt up. They're open till like 9 o'clock or something. So I'll pick the belt up. Probably won't get to put the mower back together till Wednesday. So we're pushing closer to next weekend before we get a chance to mow the yard. But I think we're going to be ready. I'm still actually looking forward to the first start on this thing. I haven't even attempted to fire it up yet. You know, because it's kind of hard without being able to hold onto the handle and pull the starter. So, but I'm happy with where I'm at. We're making great progress, and it's already better than it was. So I think it's going to work out real well. I will keep you guys posted. This is it for me. I'm going to goof around the shop just a little bit longer, and then we're going to record a podcast tonight. So I'm going to let you guys go. Have a great evening. Thank you for hanging out with me. Sorry to bore you to death 2 days in a row on my mower, but what you doing, Bob? This is what I'm doing. Take her easy, guys. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.